Hello and welcome back to
the Zak
and Buzz
Review.
So we went to go and see Oppenheimer as part of Oscar season at the cinema.
We're talking mushroom clouds. No, we're not.
Or not,
actually.
really. It was an interesting experience considering it had quite the reputation. Obviously, it was a very well received, critically film. I wanted to have the opportunity to go and see it.
And we did.
And thankfully,
it came up with it because we missed it when it came out.
Because it's a long film. It's like over 3 hours long.
Well, we're used to seeing through long movies.
Of course we are.
But this one, the actual advert for it, the trailer, was far more exciting than the movie, in my opinion.
Yeah, I think the most concise way of describing it, it's more about the man than the bomb.
Yeah, it kind of, watching the trailer, it kind of made you feel tense. Yeah. You know, I come from a time where I had to grow up through the Cold War and the real threat of nuclear war. Yeah. And so seeing the trailer was sort of brought a lot of those feelings back, and I'm thinking, oh, you know, we've got President Putin, whatever his name is it rattling sabres, saying he's, you know, threatening the West with nuclear.
Well, now,
yeah, right now. So we've got this kind of, I'm going to go and see this movie because this movie
is relevant.
It's relevant, and it could show people the terror of nuclear war.
Whereas, and having seen it, I feel as if they really tiptoed around the lasting effects of a nuclear explosion.
Yeah, no, that's the thing. It was really just the story about, and I won't say just, that's played there, but it was the story about Oppenheimer himself, and the bomb really came secondary when they showed the detonation of the test bomb. It was really underplayed. It was like really underplayed, and
again, you don't actually see like Hiroshima and Nagasaki go off either.
When they say you
hear it on the radio.
Well, even hearing the broadcast when it was happening, the music on the movie was sort of blotting out that broadcast. It was spoiling it. Yeah, you know, and they didn't show anything of that.
No,
it kind of like
you got what he imagined the effects of it being
in a really
tame way. You saw what, a little flaking face and a little an ash person.
He's kind of imagining it in his mind while everybody else is clapping and congratulating him.
Whereas you would see absolutely horrific scenes you would never expect to see. That's what it really needed to happen.
Yeah, I think they should have upped it to an 18 and then put a lot more graphic stuff in there, because the only graphic stuff was a bit of nudity, which didn't actually even have to be in it.
It really didn't. I think, to be honest, that the only... It was the only real draw, to be honest, to keep you entertained.
Entertained, because I actually heard people sniggering in the cinema when
I did. I did.
But
I'm going to sit in this armchair all naked.
Yeah, no, in the kangaroo court as well.
And that was a bit bizarre. The whole imagination bit on that. It's like
that was. I think that was like just having to put his wife, Emily Blunt, the actress, through. Sort of imagine the fact that he'd had gone and slept with somebody else while they were obviously married. But that was kind of more shocking than they put on with anything to do with the bomb. Yeah, but
it's odd because they treated it, and the character treated it very much like it is the most horrific thing to, like the most horrific burden to carry.
That's right.
But it didn't necessarily translate through the visuals and the storytelling. It just felt much like Gary Oldman said as the president.
He said,
"I never want to see that crybaby in here again."
Because, you know, you built it.
Yeah.
But you
didn't drop it.
You didn't have to.
You didn't make that decision.
You didn't make the decision to have to drop the bombs.
You just did the science.
You just did the
science.
Coordinated it. So you can feel bad about it inventing it, but I've got to shoulder the burden. So stop being a crybaby.
Exactly.
Gary Oldman, by the way, did I think he did a cracking job of that little bit.
Yeah, and he was only in it for a bit.
Well, there was a lot of good actors all the way through it.
Because it kind of time jumped for a lot of it.
Yeah, because it was colour for the past.
Yeah.
And black and white for
it was
the
it was kind of two parts. It was like fusion and fission and fusion. Yeah. That was it. And the black and white one was the one where it mainly focused on Robert Downey Jr.
and how they were trying to basically
knock him down,
and
tear his reputation apart,
destroy his reputation,
which essentially
they did. But then later,
it was fixed.
But later on, it all came out, and he was given a medal for his service to the country.
Yeah,
you know?
But it wasn't for him. It was for them.
It was for them
to make themselves feel bad.
Yeah, I mean, overall great, but I think really, and you summed it up by saying it was Oscar bait. I mean, that's what it was.
It was.
Which
it did. It proved itself.
I found one scene in it that I just couldn't not see this. And if you've seen Oppenheimer, or when you see Oppenheimer, and if you are familiar with the Terminator films, they've got a guy there, an actor, the name of the actor escapes me, but he is basically, it's all in the kangaroo court, and he's really coming at Oppenheimer, and then Oppenheimer has this moment again where he's seeing the bright lights of the bomb going off, and he's seeing the woman with the flappy skin and stuff. But this is the but. It's happening while he's being sort of like cross-examined by John Connor from Terminator Genesis, who's a super Terminator. You know, they've chosen an actor from Terminator to be this in the second. You're thinking, this is really, come on, Mr. Nolan, you should have really realised this. But the actor's a great actor. Not faulting the actor at all, but it was the bad choice, because at that point you're just seeing Terminator. That Oppenheimer is being cross-examined by a Terminator. It's like, it just
took you out of it a bit.
It took me out of it. It could have just if they changed the actor.
Yeah.
And put that actor in maybe a different role.
I mean, if you had for instance, I'd put Gary Oldman in something like that position, because that would be a very, very strong performance.
It was a strong performance and a strong position to be in. Again, not knocking the actors at all in any of it. You know, they did a great job, and it was fantastic.
Yeah. Sticking with Terminator, I feel that the threat of nuclear war and all that, like almost apocalyptic visions and everything, that is so much more graphic.
Yeah, and thought-provoking.
Thought-provoking in Terminator 2 Judgment Day.
Yeah, with Sarah Connor at the fence
that
at the
iconic
playground.
Scene.
You know, that tells you
sheer terror.
We don't want this. We don't want this to happen. And we're living in a time where we don't want it.
It kind of felt tiptoed around this topic.
Yeah.
And it almost felt trivialised, as in it's not such a big thing.
Maybe that's what
it was just the
maybe that's what
the personal aspect. The responsibility of that.
Maybe that's what
it explored.
Maybe that's what the director wanted and didn't want to push that kind of nuclear terror. But I think it was an opportunity missed. You know, especially right now.
Yeah.
You know.
If you want a more threatening nuclear film, go watch Godzilla -1.
Yeah.
Wait for that to come out on physical media, which I'm certainly going to grab.
Although I will say one other thing, Tom Conti was in it, who played Einstein, and that was a bit of fun.
Yeah.
Because again, same director. Yeah. I worked with Tom Conti on Dark Knight Rises.
Yeah. I did. Yeah.
So you got that kind of like little Batman connection there. When I was watching. Oh, and Paddington 2, funnily enough.
Yeah, he was the judge.
Yeah, but it was nice. He did a nice little role of playing Einstein. But overall, but
that was the thing. Maybe we did start the chain of events that caused the destruction of the world.
Yeah, well, basically,
that was actually, I liked the last scene. That kind of rounded it off nice.
Yeah, I think for me, the majority of the movie was that in the back of my mind, I just wanted to know what the conversation had been between Oppenheimer and Einstein.
Yeah.
And you had to wait to the end to find out.
Yeah.
And it was worth finding out. And that was a little bit prophetic.
Yeah.
Yeah, what it said. But
as I say, Oscar bait.
But ultimately, when you come away from it, you still have to say to yourself that having the human beings were going to create nuclear arms.
Yeah.
If it hadn't been the Germans, which it wasn't, then it was the Americans, and obviously the Russians have followed up, and then
it was coming. Whatever way you look at it.
Whatever happened in history, it was going to happen. But what we can say is that although we've had the threat, We haven't had that war yet because because that's what they were talking about in it a little bit, because you have the threats, of
it acts as that deterrent.
It's the nuclear deterrent, and it makes you think. But I think this movie could have made you think a little bit more. There we go. So out of 10. 10 being absolutely fabulous, 1 being awful.
I know a lot of people are probably going to go for the 10.
Yeah.
Which is why Oscar bait.
I think if you're going into this movie thinking that all I'm going to see here is the life story of Oppenheimer, then I would say that you're not going to be disappointed. And yes, you probably would say with the acting.
Whereas I kind of wanted it more to focus on the actual bomb.
Yeah.
It focused more on the person.
Well, no, I kind of wanted it half and half.
Yeah.
I would like to have...
More balanced.
I would like to have them shown on screen a little bit more of the science behind it.
Yeah, because it was very much talk.
A lot of talk and some visual effects of atoms smashing and stuff.
Trying to represent his mind. Things like that.
So, although I can understand a lot of people would probably go up on the high. I'm still mid range. I'll give it a 6.
That's interesting because I would base it upon whether or not I would want to watch it again, and I feel like.
If it came on the TV and I switched the television on and it was on, probably.
Yeah.
But to actually go and get a physical Blu-ray disc and stick it in to watch it,
I'd probably wait for the prices to drop a bit.
Yeah.
I feel like if somebody asked, "Oh, Zach, I want to see this," I'd probably go out and show them. If they wanted to, I'd sit through it again just to kind of make sure I'm.
So I'm giving it a 6.
On the right mind. It feels mean. There's a
lot better movies out there.
True. And do I find it as entertaining as everyone else seemed to?
Or as engrossing,
I understand the drama. But
it's all about the drama.
The drama. What is drama? Yeah, that's a story for another time. I'm going to go... 5.7.
Okay, 5.7.
5.7.
Okay.
It's something I would watch again, but not anytime soon.
And there you go. So that is our review of Oppenheimer.
If you enjoyed this review, please like and subscribe to this channel and comment below any suggestions of further reviews you'd like to see.
See you in the next one. Boo.